A few months ago, a friend of mine, she was in the UK, and her friend's kids came playing, and she asked them, "Oh, what's in the sky?" A 6-year-old boy, and she goes, "What's in the sky?" The boy says, "Data." Interesting. So she gets back to Lagos, Nigeria, the 10-year-old, a boy, and given what she has heard in the UK, she says to the boy, "What's in the sky?" And the boy says, "The sun, the stars, and the moon." That is how far education has gone, that if we don't catch up, if we do not know that it's no more sun and the stars that are just in the sky, data is in the cloud. So that is the reason why we are gathered today, so that we don't keep saying it's just the sun and the moon that is in the sky. Given what Bola has done and the stage that has been said, I would like to start with Mr. Martin. Mr. Martin, I just said I don't want the people of Niger Delta to keep thinking that it's just the sun that is in the sky. What is NDDC doing to ensure that the people in this region are not left behind in terms of catching up with technology and innovations that are in education space?
He has already called my name. My name is Martin Ebere Ojum, the Department of Education, Health and Social Services. But I'm here to represent my director, Madam Dara Babio, Director of Education. She's not around now. I will speak only. Education has different directorates. Most of my seniors are here, or I am just for Education Department. So the question, I will redirect it to myself: what is education of NDDC doing to ensure educational technology is deployed to Niger Delta region? So recently, the Education Department procured 45,000 U-lesson tablets that contains latest technology devices to enhance the teaching and learning in our primary and secondary school in Niger Delta. That contract contains 2 segments. The first segment is the delivery of the tablets to the end users, which is the primary and secondary school students. Then the second segment of it is to conduct a capacity building workshop for the teachers that will aid the students to navigate the tablets. So that is what we are doing in Education Department in relation to educational technology.
Thank you very much. But while you were speaking, I just thought about it. You're giving out tablets for them to use. And one of the interesting things about these sessions we've been having is that everything is intertwined. Yesterday, we talked about energy tech. So I'm just wondering, if you give me a tablet and you charge it before giving me, and after that, it goes off, there's no electricity to power it, is it still a tablet in my hand? Does it still capture the purpose to which it's given? So in terms of sustainability, how am I going to keep using the tablet? How am I going to keep trying to fit into your good intention? So is there anything that is being done to ensure that the tablet stays on?
Yes, NDDC, when we are planning, our planning is holistic. We talked about that. In fact, there was a section between us and U-lesson. We told them that because of the power outage in Nigeria, we must have a device that can sustain the U-lesson tablets. So the U-lesson has inbuilt solar charging system. So, and in this area, we are blessed with sunlight. So anywhere it's being deployed, by the exposure to the sunlight, it will charge itself.
This is interesting. And thank you to NDDC for thinking ahead of the solution to sustain it's one thing to have good intention, it's another thing to execute and also make sure that it comes to reality. Okay, so that takes me to Sandra. So what I hear them giving out are hard words, but for the past 2 days, we've been hearing AI, we've been hearing all sorts of things that, in fact, when I went yesterday, I said, I think I have to upgrade myself. If there's an app in me, it's time to upgrade it after hearing what has been said in this room for the past 2 days. How are the teachers, what are the teachers going to do? What do they need to upscale? So I have a device, but I also need to catch up, so I need you to talk to that.
So learning is continuous, right? I always talk about theory. You know the theoretical part of it, and then you know the practical one. You get hands-on. So like what we've just heard about the device that NEDC is supplying to enable learning, to use a device like that or any device, of course, there's maybe like a manual to go through and understand it. There are also ways to improve yourself and stay relevant as a teacher. We have access to search engines. You could Google up anything. You could learn anything on maybe YouTube. To help you stay productive, you have to get familiar with productivity tools. There's so many of them. There's the Google Calendar. There's the community-based ones like Slack, and there are also simple ones, right? So to keep you, working, staying productive, working smarter, and all of that, you can utilize online platforms or search engines. First off, get yourself familiar with these things. You could just easily, most of our search engines these days are enabled by AI. So if you want to learn on something, say I'm a teacher, and I have this topic to take tomorrow, and you want to get concise guidelines, you could just quickly go there and search for it, and then you see a curriculum, and then you streamline it to yours and prepare for your stuff, your class, right? You could do that. Like I said, search engines, AI, it's all integrated. You don't need to struggle. You don't need to sweat anything. You don't need to start packing books and pen. You just come out with your slides ready and graphics that you have to, give your topic, and you just teach.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So before we got here, Bola had prepared a PowerPoint presentation that she wanted us to use, and she got into the lounge where we were talking, and she goes, "We are in a tech expo. I think I'm going to use AI and convert it to a video." That's what you watched there. Within 3 minutes, she converted her PowerPoint presentation into a 3-minute video. So that was amazing, because you wanted to practicalize what you were going to be saying here. So, and it also got me thinking that in sometime in 1808, 1801, chalkboard was celebrated. Can you imagine that? That there was a time that projectors, laptops were celebrated. In fact, I read that the first laptop in the world was as heavy as a sewing machine. Imagine getting into this room with something as heavy as a sewing machine. And it was celebrated. And at some point, they went, of course, when the World Wide Web, WW, came on board, it was really celebrated. And here is Bola taking less than 1 minute to convert a PowerPoint to video. Please, could you share more things that AI can do for the education sector?
Thank you so much for that question. And yes, you're right. I'd prepared a document, to just set the stage. And it occurred to me that we're going to be speaking about people utilizing the tools to make them faster, quicker, and more effective. How about we do the same by ourselves? So I decided to, engage AI, like she said, and all of that was put together this morning, including the voiceover. I took the recording in my hotel room this morning and also tweaked it, all with AI. These are processes that would have taken days or weeks, or you would have needed a professional to help you do. But you see, these tools are available to all of us. And I was having a conversation with somebody in the hotel this morning, and I'm like, the biggest example of garbage in, garbage out is AI. If you're smart, AI will make you 100 times smarter. If you're stupid, it will make you 100 times more stupid. So AI in itself really is nothing. It depends on what you or how you want to utilize it. And taking that back to the teachers, she made a statement about it's learning is continuous, and that is true. And you don't also have to limit what you're teaching your students to your area of expertise or even your explaining. You can go beyond that. We're all conversant with social media. We consume entertainment in many ways. And you can bring that into your classroom, just like I did. What I did was I created prompts and I generated AI images that best explains what I was trying to say. I put all of those together in the most simple way I can, together with my voice, and I presented to you a 3-minute video rather than you reading slides. And I believe that that probably stuck a lot more. And that is also how memes or skits or stuff stick with people more. So those are things that you can use. And she said, Google is your friend, guys. Google is your friend. Utilize it. And you see, a lot of our students nowadays are also very exposed. So as a teacher, if you also don't chase after becoming a technology native, you will not be able to impact knowledge to your students because they know more than you. I was telling them about a story of my son who's 14, and he was very excited to get into secondary school 3 years ago. 2 weeks after he resumed secondary school, he got bored. Mommy, I'm bored of school. I can't wait to graduate. And I'm like, just 2 weeks. He said, yes, like, they teach them things. He's very interested in science. He said he already knows the science that they are teaching them in SS3 because these are things he searches out on YouTube. So as a teacher, how do you make yourself more interesting to that kind of kid so that that kid can listen to you and you can impart knowledge? So like she said, continuous learning, search things out, and utilize the tools that are available to you, and never be too afraid to ask Google any question. No matter how silly you think it is, there's an answer for you, and actually you get better the more you use it.
Thank you very much. So from an artist's perspective, when someone is given a clean canvas, it's easier to start painting afresh than when someone says, correct this and correct that. If you've never heard of AI and you just want to start, it's easier to start learning something new than for someone to say, make corrections and learn. Why am I saying this? It brings me to the issue of change. Everybody is saying AI. Everybody is saying change. To some people, it sounds really alien. What you have known all your years. Some schools don't even use. We grew up using blackboards. Some schools don't use them anymore. They use smart boards, right? And so for today's teacher, and Sandra, I'm taking this to you. For today's teacher, how do you deal with the issue of resistance to change? How are you going to manage people not wanting to, no, leave that. I just need to get my hands dirty. It's chalk that I know. And to add to that, some of us, I didn't meet slate, but I think some of the, my daughter says I'm older generation. Some of the older generation met slate, where you go to school, you clean, and the next day you start afresh to write. Are there people that met that in this room? Oh, all of you are forming AI. Are there hands there? Please, a round of applause for the veterans in this room. So why am I saying this? I need you to address the issue of change. How do you get the 21st century teacher to embrace this change?
Thank you. It's an interesting question. So I heard about something, a word, mind block, right? Someone was speaking to me about something and then she said, that's a mind block. So that's a mind block, right? When you you don't think something works or it's going to be good for you, you just stick to what you know, you're stuck in your ways, you don't evolve, right? So to handle that, right, I'm going to give another instance. Maybe say recruiters looking through CVs, or you're going through a grant application, you see words and you don't want to accept that this person actually wrote this thing themselves. You think they use AI and you don't think it should be accepted. Why would you use AI to write and all of that? So that part, I'm going to talk about it. AI doesn't make you dull. It doesn't make you drop your books. It just helps you with structure. Now, we are saying AI, use AI. She mentioned that she used AI to put the video together, record her voice, and all of that. It doesn't say drop the book or learn other things or the theory or understand. I mean, before you go on the chats, you already know what you want to ask it. You sort of have an idea, but you just want structure. You want to have them listed and, give words to your topic or something like that. So I would say that we should open up our minds to innovation, because you cannot bring a fat textbook to teach today's generation. Her child will slip off in class, right? So no one's saying you should come with all the AI robotic words, but open up to learning, because it makes you work smarter. When you want to work smarter, and today, remember this, technology helps you work smarter. So that way when you think about working smarter and being productive, you would step out of that barrier or that mind block. You would drop it. I want to excel at my job. You have a deadline, or something comes up and you need to submit in 10, 20, 30 minutes, or you have a presentation. You use technology, you use what you have access to. And how do you access it? You have a phone, you have a device, you have a laptop, you have access to internet. I think some of us do. So you spend time using that to navigate the entire, that, and then search for easy ways to help you be productive. And removing mind blocks would make you teach better, and you would fall in love with young people, because there is progress with their learning. Do you get? There's progress. So when you take off what you used to know and embrace new things, you're able to deliver properly, you're able to deliver efficiently, and you would see progress in your students. You will see that they are responding. Nobody is bored, nobody is sleeping in class. They are excited about the next thing. They are even looking forward with questions ready for you, because you have embraced a pattern of learning. You've understood their pattern of receiving this knowledge you want to transfer, and you're able to deliver it like that.
So I just wanted to add that, first of all, there's nothing wrong with what you know and how you already pass on knowledge. Once we have that clear, whether it's slate or it's chalk, or like people in my office, for example, they come to meetings and they come with their phones. And sometimes I get really upset because it looks like they're distracted. You are in a meeting and everybody is right on their phones. And they're like, no, I'm on Notepad. I'm still, up till today, the traditional, you go with your notebook and write. So if that works for you, that's fine. But in terms of evolving, I think what takes off that mind block, if we're to address the how, is find somebody to show you something. I think most times people resist change because they actually don't know where to start from and they're afraid of failing. If you have someone, either a mentor or a teacher, yes, a teacher can get a teacher. It can be an online class, it can be a physical person. In fact, it can be your child or a younger person. Just show you how to utilize certain tools. And please, baby steps. You don't have to, don't give yourself too high a target. You know, it can start with, my sister, for example, she struggles with using a laptop sometimes. If it's more than her work email and her PowerPoint, she doesn't know anything else. If she's to engage something else, she literally picks up the phone to call me. Oh, Bola, I have problems with my Netflix. What do I do? Those are the type of learnings or teaching or mentoring that I'm talking about. When you want to improve, and the reason you need to do this is because it's a lifeline thing. And I'll use a very simple analogy of Uber and taxis. What technology has done with Uber, if the taxi drivers did not evolve themselves to getting on those platforms, what it meant for their livelihood is that they were soon going to be out of a job, and meaning they will not be able to feed their families. It's the same way with teaching. You need to, in baby steps, start to adopt this technology so that it doesn't get to a point where we'll say, oh, once upon a time, there was once teachers. Like once upon a time, typewriting used to be a job. There are so many jobs that used to be that are no longer. So to keep with time, you need to find ways to continue to adopt, and we still need the wealth of experience that you have. So we're not saying, oh, you are not in, so we don't want you. No, we still need that wealth of experience, but perhaps when you embrace technology, you're able to share that with more people. So I just wanted to put that out.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Baby steps. In our local language, don't kill yourself, I beg. Just learn the things small, and you will get there. Baby steps. Don't put yourself under any undue pressure because of where the world is going. Just take it easy, and you will get there. So that takes me to Mr. Martin. I was just thinking, the interesting thing about NDDC is that they deal with local, as in they get to the grassroots, they get to the root of the matter. They deal with people in the communities, because of impact. Now, I'm just wondering, what's your thought? Do you think that while we are speaking so much grammar about AI, should they be localized to, for our environment to accept it? I'm just thinking, what if there's something in Igbo language in AI? What if it means that it will give opportunity to more people in the rural areas? So I want you to share your thought. Do you think that that's something that can work for the communities?
NDDC, especially in education department, we get to the grassroots by training the teachers on the use of modern technology in education. So there's something we call methodology in teaching. So there is technology that enhances teaching and learning process is being brought down to the layman understanding. We get people, experts in those areas. So when you speak AI, they might not understand AI, but the professor who is major in that place can break it down to the level they will understand, so that they can impact the knowledge to the end users, which is the primary and secondary school students. Fantastic.
Because teaching is not complete until the person you're teaching understands what you're talking about. Thank you so much. So for me, as a PR professional, feedback is very important. We're not going to sit here and talk and not hear from the people. I need to hear questions for the people over here. So I don't know if someone will assist with the mic. It's very important that we get feedback and we hear from the audience, please. It's important you tell us your name and what you do.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Gift Omagile Abigo. I'm a classroom teacher. By the way, I studied English education. So we are right out the foundation of everything in education. I was tempted to ask questions yesterday, but I decided not to because I was very vocal the day on agriculture. My contribution from yesterday's topic was moving the guys who spoke about tech back to Enugu, because I found Mr. George talking about someone who came from Côte d'Ivoire, a neighboring African country, who takes guys from Enugu and Anambra State, and basically they were for technology. I wanted to point that out. Now, if there are persons in the classroom and they've been paying attention, before COVID, Anambra State won an international recognition, an award actually, for a tech competition. And that reflects the work that maybe the previous government may have done in Anambra State, strengthening the tech skills across classrooms. I was going to say that, I'm sorry, I'm going to be talking a little bit more, I'm a teacher. I was going to say that whilst we were here, the universities were acknowledged, but a child spends at most 5 years in the university or 6. But in the schools, the early years, the primary, the secondary, this is the foundation of a human being. And if the Niger Delta looks towards doing a lot of work around the curriculum, empowering teachers to support the teaching of tech across the curriculum, and do what Enugu and Anambra State has done for their curriculum. The curriculum will be strengthened, teachers will be empowered, and of course our children will begin to reflect tech skills, around universities and thereafter. Now back to today. The guy from NDDC, you spoke about U-Lesson. U-Lesson does not replace primary learning. You know what I mean? You sound like a teacher, so you should understand. U-Lesson is supposed to be a learning support, or maybe an advancement. But primary functionality of a teacher is still there. You were talking about U-Lesson. I was expecting to hear what you have done with teachers, maybe in the public schools, because I'm with the private school. I work with Malvern International Schools, Port Harcourt. I was looking to hear what you've done with the teachers before we're giving out tabs to children, because,
Thank you. Thank you, Gabe.
I shouldn't talk more?
So that we can give other people opportunities to speak.
Please, I'm a teacher. I have a lot of questions here. This is my field.
Okay, so since we have taken one from you, Gift, it would be nice to give another person.
I made a contribution. All right, thank you.
Thank you. And the interesting part of this gathering is that the NDDC personnel, the directors, a lot of them are in this room. So it's a conversation you might also want to have. And the passion in your voice tells us that you have so much to contribute to this sector. We are excited that you're in our midst today, and gladly, I'm sure the directors will be willing to hear your more views on that. Thank you so much, Gift.
Okay.
Could we take another person, please?
Yes, my name is Favor Roberts, and I'm here as a tech enthusiast. So my question is based on the use of AI. We cannot overemphasize the use of AI, and I use it. My question now is on the excessive use of AI. So we've been talking about using AI all the time, but at some point, it might replace our confidence. At some point, you will be totally dependent on it. So how do we mitigate this? Thank you.
Bola, I think you should take that.
Hello, okay. Sorry, I didn't catch your name, but I think that's a very brilliant question. Speaking of dependence or no dependence, I think you might be focusing on the wrong thing. I think if your focus is on productivity and efficiency, you basically find what helps you get there the fastest and in the most efficient ways. Who knew how dependent we would be on mobile phones at the time phones came into Nigeria? If that was in our forefront, we probably wouldn't have mobile phones today. But a lot of us cannot step out of our houses without our phones. You literally drive out, you remember you've forgotten your phone, then you go back home. Your watch is now almost irrelevant because you have a mobile phone. Think of almost everything, your diary, your contact list, your bank, your money is on your phone. So rather than fight, this, because there are lots of discussions for and against AI, and I think we're just focusing on the wrong things. What's your goal? What are you trying to achieve? If AI does it for you, by all means, use it. If it doesn't do it for you, please stay on your lane, right? But if you think it helps you, go the length. Let your eye be set on the goal. Because whether you like it or not, the change is here, and the change is with us. You either adapt and evolve, or you fall by the roadside.
Thank you. Do we have more questions? We'll just take 2 more so they can give. Okay, Sandra, you want to add to that?
Yes, I want to add to that. So the word excessive, I think I get that. Can you hear me, please? Yes. So for a community leader like me, I want to reach out to many people. I want education to get to you from wherever you are. Wherever you are, you should have access to education. I cannot be at your home. I cannot be at your classrooms. I may not be able to mentor everyone at a time. But the AI thing, it helps with gathering data and personalizing learning. So in technology, in platforms, builders can relate. When you're building a platform, you're thinking about reach. You're thinking about efficiency. You want to integrate that to help reach more people, to help solve their problems about maybe mentorship. And to do that, you cannot achieve that without predictive analysis. You work with data. Now, for AI, you're faced with the bots, but you train it with what you give it. It's trained mechanism. What you put in it is what it gives you. So as you continue to train it with that, like platforms where you're learning, you come on a platform to maybe learn a course. It sees your patterns, your behavior on that platform. It's able to predict your learning style, how much you learn, and the courses you're interested in. It brings it to you. You're now seeing more things you could learn to improve in that area. So, like she said, it is what you need it for. It is not just there to, it has its targets, right? So you're a teacher, you probably need it. You're a builder, you need it. If you have a vision, you have a solution, you need it to reach people. You need it to solve personalized problems. And on our platform, Skillful, we want to be able to gather your thoughts, what you tell the platform, and solve your pain in learning. You need a mentor. You need someone to guide you. You have a problem with learning SQL, for instance. The only way we can receive all that feedback and the platform gives you what you need to excel in your career is predictive analysis. So the platform is trained with so much data, and then all that is predicted to give you something that can guide you, and it's a stress-free life, really. I don't think it's excessive, except you're using it for something different. Every time you go to it, but like she said, who knows what the future holds? It could be like our mobile phones tomorrow. Everyone will start learning online. You won't need to go to a classroom. You won't need to maybe pay so much to commute to a place or meet a mentor. You can get there from anywhere in the world. As the data comes in, it is channeled towards you and your problem, and it solves it. So I think that's what the whole idea is about. It's so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you. Our time, would like to speak to that? Yes, I was going to come to you. Please respond to gifts.
Okay. Let me respond to her questions. Maybe you came in, I don't know whether she's late when I was explaining what NDDC is doing for teachers. One of the things I said is that NDDC organized capacity building workshop. Capacity building workshop. Teachers are trained on methodology, how to impart knowledge to the students. That is one of the things NDDC is doing. In a short while, teachers will be drawn from public schools across the Niger Delta to educate them the use of U-lesson tablets and the modern educational technology in a short while. Then another thing we do, NDDC have what we call foreign postgraduate scholarship program. They just awarded about 250 scholarships for masters overseas. Teachers are also encouraged if they are interested.
All right.
Another thing we do again, we have what we call research grants. Research grants. I am in that department, so I can tell you what we are doing. I said, I'm going to discuss based on the unit I am. Research grants. Grants are given to teachers who wants to do research in their area of specialty. I'm sure I answered your question.
Yes, you have answered number 1. Gifty will be waiting for you to answer number 2, 3, and 4 when you are off the stage.
Last words. I think with learning, there is no place called there, especially with the world we're living in today, where things come up every single day. So it's important to stay adaptive. And I also want to quickly touch on something. I think it's a question, so I beg your pardon that you threw to him, which sits within what I do. When you asked about languages, yes, being able to get information to people through their languages, it's a passion that I have, and that is also why that we've started Speak Ede. Speak Ede is 3-tiered, right? One arm of it is language learning, which is focused on our ethnic languages in Nigeria and, in Africa as we continue to grow. We want to teach our young people, young families, and some older people, their languages, because it looks like the more modern we're becoming, the more of ourselves we're losing, and so we don't lose our heritage. And that's also because we believe that that is actually our superpower in the world stage. So that's part. The second part is cultural immersion. And the third part is where I want to focus on, knowledge exchange or knowledge transfer. You have a lot of people who are well educated, probably don't live in Nigeria, they're exposed, all of the knowledge that they've acquired. We find that there is a huge bridge or a huge divide. They are unable to transfer that knowledge back home to the masses. Why? Language. It's either when they speak, and I hope I'm also not doing that, speaking over people's heads, yes. It's either when they speak, people don't get it. So there is a divide, and we want to be able to bridge that by providing not just language learning, but providing skills or courses in languages. So that, you see, this 200 million population that we're always throwing around becomes actually real to us, where everybody is actually equipped and skilled to deliver. You don't have to learn English to know how to code. You don't have to learn English to know how to provide healthcare. Some of those lessons or knowledge can be transferred to people if we break it down through language. So to round up, let's be adaptive. And as we're growing and the world is moving in a fast pace, we don't get left behind.
Thank you. Sandra, I have 30 seconds for you to talk, please.
Okay, I'll be quick. So I would want to encourage everyone in the room to utilize tools online. There is no barrier, really. You have access to YouTube. You have access to your search engines now enabled by AI. If you've seen some of the Meta products, they have that. So you want to learn how to cook, that's education, right, in a certain level. You can learn that online. You want to learn how to teach. You could learn the techniques of teaching online. You want to learn a course, a skill, you could do that online. Just put yourself there, find a time, a convenient time, and learn something. Practice online learning so that you don't have to spend so much going to a place and saying, if it's not physical, I cannot do it. Thank you.
All right, our time is up, but in order to have gender equality, I'm going to allow Mr. Martin to speak for another 20 seconds. Mr. Martin, please, your last words.
Okay, I will thank the organizers of this program for giving NDCC the opportunity to showcase their program. Thank you so much. I also encourage our audience that we have a website. NDCC has a website. The IT department maybe will make it available for you. When you log on, you see what NDCC is doing in the area of educational technology. Thank you, and God bless.
And it's on this note, I will say thank you to my wonderful panelists, and thank you for a very attentive audience. Thank you, NDDC, for putting this together. And my last word is keep learning. You're never too old to stop learning. Thank you.